Hello and welcome to this video. Today we will be painting Yoda from the Star Wars Legion game. As you can see, I have primed him already. I primed him in black first, and then a heavy white zenithal highlight with an airbrush. As you can see, if we turn him over, there's a very effective natural shadow on him. So let's get started. We will be doing him in a very quick and easy paint scheme, using a lot of washes and contrast colors for the first layers. So let's get going with the first color. We'll be painting his skin firstly. So he will be doing that in a green, because Yoda do have green skin. Let's just see if we can get the camera to focus on this very heavy white color. Even though it does look very light greenish right now, I'm very sure it's just because of the camera catching the light of the white and overexposing it on the camera. And there we go. Now it just needs to dry, and we will be back for that, for the next part, to work on his cloak. See you then. Now we're ready to continue, and for this next part we will do his cloak. So let's get ready for that. Again, we will be using the same technique as before, using a contrast color. What will make this easy is that we already have a layer of shadows from the priming. And the contrast color will give us yet another layer of shadows. So effectively, we will already have two layers of depth to the miniature, which will really show through in later stages. I have thinned it with two different kinds of thinner, flow improver and what is called airbrush thinner. Some people like to use just one of them, some people like to use both. There's no one way to do it. And now we just have to be careful we don't hit the parts of the miniature that we don't want this brown color on. Just switch to another brush, a smaller brush, to give us more control. Again, the camera makes it very, very bright. But believe me, it is not in reality. Now we just have to remove some of the excess where it's been a little heavy. And you should always do this before it starts staining or setting on the miniature, creating unwanted areas of shadow. And that is also a good reason for using the flow improver, which functions as a drying retarder. And that means that it will take longer for the paint to dry, so giving you more work time. And that is very efficient, especially with acrylics that usually dries very fast and is very hard to remove. And there we go. Now we will just leave him to dry again and make it ready for the next part. See you then. Now we're ready to paint the cloak, not the cloak, the robe itself. And for this other contrast color. Of course, I will link it in the video to what colors we're using, so it will be easy for you. And again, it has been thinned in the same way as the previous one. Flow improver and thinner. There we go, fast and easy. We will need 2 layers of this one, so we will just leave this layer to dry, and then I will do the next layer, same fashion, but off video, so you don't have to watch that process again, but of course you will see the result. So see you then. Hello again. Now we're ready to continue giving his robe the second layer to give it a little more definition and depth. It will just be very fast. Same mixture as before. So it shouldn't be more than 2 seconds to reapply, and then we will just paint Yoda's cane. Another contrast color. This time it is not thinned because we want his cane to be dark. So we will just use it unthinned, but drag it out so we can see the grain in his cane and get some of the natural highlights that contrast paint is supposed to give. Might as well use it for what it is. And there we go. Now he will just need to dry, and then I will give him a thin layer of varnish before we move along. I'm doing this because all this paint right now that we have put on him is a very thin layer and very brittle. Even if you just touch it with your finger, you will rub off paint. So it will be almost impossible to work on. So we'll be giving him a layer of varnish, so he will be nice and secure for the next step of the painting process. That's it. See you then. There we go. Now he's all dry. He has been varnished and it's good to touch without breaking the paint. So now we will do the dirty part of the work and cover the model in goo. We'll cover him in Streak and Grime from AK. We'll cover him in, this is an enamel wash. You can do it with an oil wash if you want to do that. You can do it with a regular acrylic wash if you want to do that. I like this kind because it's easy to use, easy to remove again. Because if you did this with a normal acrylic wash, you would have ruined the miniature. But with this kind of wash, it's good to do it. Then how long should you wait to remove it again? I will wait for around 2.5 hours before I remove it. I do this because I like the staining of the miniature. I like the brown staining that it will give to the miniature and give it an extra level of dimension to give it more depth, as you will see in the next part of the video. So I will just leave him to dry and be right back for you. See you then. There we go. Now Yoda is dry enough for the next step, and that will be cleaning him off. So cleaning him, to getting rid of all the excess grime we do not want. And for that we will be using something simple, a makeup sponge and some Q-tips these are not very good. So if you can find something, some of them that does not lose a lot of their fibers in the process, it will be better, but these will do fine for now. So now we just take the sponge and then slowly cleaning him off. Don't push too hard. You will remove too much at once. Just take it nice and easy and very slow, so slowly go through him. Using the sponge, you can see a lot of it is coming off. And we just use the sponge to get the worst of it off, and then we will switch to the Q-tip to hit some of the harder edges to create another layer of highlights on him without much work. So let's switch to the Q-tip again. If we can get the camera to focus. This is a little time-consuming process, but it is well worth it. As it will really bring the contrast of Yoda's beautiful details. And if you want, you can just stop after this and you will have a very beautiful miniature with a lot of details. See if we can get the camera to focus on him. As you can see here, it looks pretty well already, but we will simply keep cleaning him so we can put on the highlights on him and get him finished. But before we can do that, he will need to dry some more, and you can give him another layer of thin varnish so you do not accidentally remove any of the grime when you're touching with your fingers, because it will dry very slowly. So I will just do that and then get back to you so we can finish him up. See you then. Hello and welcome back. Now our Yoda miniature is all dry and ready for the final highlights. Then he will be ready for the table or display stand or wherever you want to put him. I know this one is going to be a display model, so that's where he's going, so he won't be battling anything soon. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus so we can see where we paint. We just want to hit the uppermost areas of the miniature, just to sharpen the definitions of the miniature. So nothing extremely or fancy. Just to make him stand out just a little bit extra, even though it is not really needed that much, because there's already so many layers of highlights and shadows on him from all the previous steps. But as you might know in this hobby, there's always more you can do. There's always more levels. So you can always keep adding on to get higher and higher results. That's a good thing about the hobby, but it's also kind of a kind of a trap in this hobby, because most people will get discouraged because they always think everything has to be perfect, but everything do not have to be perfect. There we go, the first one. Let's do some on his robe. Just to make those highlights pop. Nothing crazy. We're not going for some kind of heavy metal from GW kind of edge highlighting. Just making a more natural looking highlight, just to make it look good and not make it look too crazy overdone. There we go. He's more or less ready. And he's ready to go on his stand. And this is where I will stop the video. If you like the video, hit the like and subscribe button. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. If you have any comments or any likes you want to see on the channel, feel free to say it in the comment section. And I'll see you in the next one. See you then.